Sweeping Social Security reform could happen very soon. Now, I'm not talking about some minor adjustment to an obscure clause in the regulations. I'm talking about nearly everything changing. In this video, I'll break down the 6 big changes that's likely to affect you. Stay tuned. Hey, real quick, before we jump into today's video, this is a bill that I'm going to be watching very carefully. When something big happens, I plan to let my subscribers know about it quickly. If you don't want to miss it, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that notifications bell. That way, as soon as I publish a new video, you'll get a notification. Okay, so this bill was first introduced in April of 2017. And since the House was still controlled by the Republicans at that time, it died a pretty quick death. But now it's back, and this time the Democrats are in control of the House, and there's even some gossip that President Trump may be on board with his support. This is one you need to watch. It already has nearly enough co-sponsors to pass it through the House. Now, the Senate is still controlled by Republicans, so it's not as certain there, but at the very least, this proposal is going to show you what's on the mind of the Democrats and give us an indication of how much support the Republicans are likely to give a bill with these sorts of provisions. This proposal is comprehensive. It would include both tax cuts and tax increases, a change in the way the cost of living adjustments are calculated, and an across-the-board benefit increase. And after reading through the bill, I want to share with you the 6 things that I think will have the most impact on the majority of Americans. Just understand, this video is not a deep dive into each of these topic areas. This bill is likely to change as the process moves forward, and I'll save the deep dive for a series of videos when we get a final signature-ready bill. Also, the purpose of this video is not to share my opinion of the proposal. Although I'm certainly not scared to do so, there are still a few things that need working out before I can decide if I view this bill favorably or not. So what I want to do is give you a quick summary of this proposal that is devoid of all the hyperbole that I'm sure you're about to start hearing from each side. So let's get started with the 6 big changes that come from this bill. Number 1, a benefit increase. There will be an across-the-board increase to benefits, and this will be retroactively applied to everyone who is currently receiving benefits as well. The way they'll accomplish this is by a slight change to the Social Security formula. Currently, your historical earnings are applied to a crediting formula at age 62 to determine your benefit amount. The only change is that the top number in this formula will change from 90% to 93% credit to your benefit amount for the earnings in that lower range. The estimate is that benefits will increase by an average of 2%. The second big change is a switch to CPI-E. Currently, the cost of living adjustment is calculated with the CPI-W. This methodology has been criticized for not taking into account a retiree's expenses that are not the same as a working person. The Bureau of Labor Statistics has kept up with an experimental inflation number for the past several years that they've called the CPI-E. In this measurement, they use households over the age of 62. And from December of 1982 through December of 2011, the CPI-E rose at an annual average rate of 3.1%, while the CPI-W was only 2.9%. And when you look at a side-by-side comparison, it's easy to see where a retiree's expenses are different. The green bars represent the expenses of individuals over the age of 62. And you'll quickly see that housing and medical care take up a lot more of a retiree's income. And if those categories increase at a rate faster than inflation, the current method just doesn't keep up. Big change number 3 is to increase the minimum benefit. Now, there's not much said about the Social Security minimum benefit. This is the lowest amount an individual can receive who worked a certain number of years. It's meant to offer a floor for those who had very low-paying jobs. So in 2019, the minimum is $872 for those who worked 30 years. The new minimum benefit will be 125% of the poverty level for those who worked 30 years. Big change number 4 is a decrease to Social Security taxes. This needs to happen. The numbers haven't been modified since they were introduced in 1983 and then another layer added in 1993. This is one of the areas of the bill, though, that's somewhat unclear to me, but I think I've got it. Currently, there is a grid system that your benefits move through for taxation. For married filing jointly, there is no tax if your provisional income is less than $32,000. For the amounts between $32,000 and $44,000, 50% of your benefits are included as taxable income, and for amounts over $44,000, 85% of your benefit is taxable income. It appears that they're simply going to do away with some of those others and say that if your provisional income is less than $100,000, there is no tax on your Social Security benefit. If it crosses over $100,000, 85% of your benefits are taxable. Now, I did a walkthrough on Social Security taxation in another one of my videos. I'll put a link to it in the description down below. Big change number 5 is to increase the maximum wage base. Currently, you only pay Social Security payroll taxes on the first $132,900 of earnings. For earnings over that, you don't pay that 12.4% tax. But the new law would put a gap in your earnings. For the first $132,000, you would pay it. That amount increases every year. And then for a gap between that and $400,000, you would not pay it. But at $400,000, it would kick back in. Now, they're going to put that back into your Social Security benefit, but it's only going to credit your benefit by 2% of the excess. And big change number 6 is an increase to payroll taxes. Now, this would happen gradually, and it would only be 0.05% increase per year. But by 2043, employees and employers would each be paying 7.4% instead of 6.2% as they are now. This means that the total FICA tax would increase from 15.3% to 17.7%. So that sums up what I think are the big changes that could come from the Social Security 2100 Act. As it's written currently, these provisions would eliminate the much discussed insolvency of the Social Security Trust Fund in 2034. That's a good thing. The publicity pieces around this bill say that it would extend the solvency of Social Security into the year 2100, hence the name, but who knows after that. Hey, remember, this is a bill that I will be watching very carefully, and when something big is announced, I plan to let my subscribers know about it very quickly with a video release. If you don't want to miss that, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that notifications bell. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day.